So, how do you create a high converting offer in the beauty industry? Well, today I'm actually joined by Maria. She is the owner of the Money Making Esthetician. It's one of the largest esthetician groups on Facebook. And if you don't know who I am, I'm Jake Randolph for the Beauty Biz Pro podcast. So, yeah, today we're going to dive into tips for business growth. We're going to break down Maria's Black Friday offer that she's actually doing for her spa. And so, Maria, tell us a little bit about how you started the group.
So I actually started the group in 2020 when there was absolutely nothing to do. Um, I was a moderator for another Facebook group with, I think you know that group, the Six Figure Esthetician. And so prior to that, I worked at a label, and one of my things was to do like spreadsheets. So everybody went online, and I had all these really organized spreadsheets because I love spreadsheets. So it was like, this is the lash class with links and prices and like reviews. So I organized it really well for myself. And then just to be of service, I just started sharing it with the community. And so that's when they invited me to be a moderator for the Six Figure Esthetician. And I really wanted to bring the brands to life. So, for example, you are a marketer. And I think there's a very special place to actually get to know the person behind the business. So I wanted to bring the brands to life. And at the time, the person, Eric was his name, didn't really want me to do it that way, which respectfully so, like it wasn't my group. So then I started the Money Making Esthetician, and I specifically named it the Money Making Esthetician because I wanted people to get comfortable with numbers. Like, this isn't a hobby. We're here to like make money.
Right.
And I think I was for sure speaking to myself at the time because I needed to make money. Like in that group, the Six Figure Esthetician, I saw that you can make $10,000 in a month. And all I wanted to make was three. Like I just wanted to pay my expenses and that's it. And when I saw 10,000, I was like, holy smokes. So then I started like researching, asking questions, really getting involved. I remember the first time I hit 10,000, I was like, oh my gosh, I did it. Like I actually did it. And it was with the help of retail, packages, upselling. And so all that knowledge I learned, I put it into the Money Making Esthetician. And that's how the group just grew organically.
That's awesome. And yeah, since then I've actually taken over the Six Figure Esthetician group, and so now we both have groups that we kind of bounce off each other. But yeah, so like here's the thing about the podcast is I've been in the beauty industry since 2017 with the marketing stuff, and I know there's so many like marketers out there that overpromise the world. They say they're going to do all this, and it's really given marketing a bad name. And I'm here to try to fix that because I know that everybody needs marketing, but now everybody's scared to like hire a marketer, and so that's why I'm glad I built this relationship with you because we've already been helping you or giving you some tips on certain marketing things that I think you've seen that me and my business partner Tony are not the typical marketers that people stereotype.
Oh, no, for sure. Well, I remember, so the way I it got introduced to you was through Tony, but through Kayla. So Kayla Duncan,
Yeah.
I saw her landing page and I was like, holy smokes, what is this? I need it. What? So I was like, this is great work. She's like, oh, that's my guy, Tony. I was like, who's Tony? Like, I need his help.
Hmm.
And that's when we got introduced. She was like, do you know Jake? I was like, absolutely, I know Jake, because obviously we see your picture everywhere. And so I was like super excited to connect with you guys. And what I actually thought was really cool about Tony is he was so upfront because I have used other marketing things in the past where I run ads, and I probably got a ton of leads. Like I got like 263 leads, but none of those leads were actually usable. And I would sit there calling them, calling them. And Tony broke it down so easy. He's like, you need a VA. You need to, because the way I did it before was through social media. So I would work with influencers. I have a whole blog post on this too. And so I would have very specific scripts. And I always say, like, the fortune is in the follow up. So for some people who say that influencers don't work for them, it's just because you're not following up with the things that you get after. So, like, every like, follow, anybody who interacts with my page, I DM them.
Love that.
So it was a very different experience running ads because I felt like those people didn't know me versus when somebody would come in through my Instagram page, they're like, hey girl, like they already felt like they knew me. But Tony was so raw where he was like, you need a VA. Like, I'm not even going to bring you on if you don't even have a VA. And I was like, okay, let me go find one. And then I quickly realized I need to work on my website. I booked on my booking site. I checked my prices. So there's so much more that goes onto it than just running ads. And he was so honest about that.
Yeah, and I love how you I want to repeat what you just said earlier. You said I DM'd every single person that engaged or liked. That might not be the exact quote, but you every single person that liked or commented, you engaged with them. Like I love that.
Oh yeah, like, cause I up with Instagram at the time of there was like Desi Perkins and like all these makeup gurus. And I live in LA, so like I can literally go to Trader Joe's right now and run into them. And I'm like a weirdo, so I'll run up to them and give them my business card. But I know that if I don't, whatever comes after that is on me. So they're going to post me. I am going to get interaction. They
Hmm.
are going to follow me. But anybody who like follows, likes anything, I actually in the blog there's literally the specific script that I send them, and I'm like, hey, thank you so much for the follow. What are your skin concerns? So I make sure to ask a question that they're going to engage with me. So I'm
Right.
like, what is your skin concern? Here is my booking site. And sometimes at that time, I didn't have an offer, but now I do. I'm like, hey, I'll give you a special offer for a new thing. Here's the booking link. So I'm already kind of training my clients that this is where you're going to go to book. And then if you have any questions, and they will, they'll send me pictures. I send a voice note. I understand that some estheticians are like, that's just a lot of time, but I'm okay with that because I really want that like interact where we're like connected. They're my friends, but not my friends. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I like how you mentioned that most or some estheticians are like, well, I don't. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of
Yeah.
effort. And I think one thing that separates the really successful business owners from the ones who kind of just get by or survive is their relationship with pain. Because if you think about anything in life, whether it's working out, whether it's business, you have to go through some things that you don't want to do to get where you want to be. And so business is not all about like, oh, great, now I'm a business owner. I just get to have fun and just be my own boss and do everything I love. That's not what being a business owner is about. Like, yes, you can
No.
eventually get to that point once you build systems and teams and processes and all that stuff and delegate. But when you're starting out and you're solo, and some people don't even ever get past the solo part, you have to do a lot of things that you don't like.
Oh, it's a grind, and you really just have to put yourself out there. There's a lot of rejection that comes with business where they're like, "No." And you're like, "Alrighty, well, thank you for the feedback," and like keep pushing.
Yep, for sure. Even this morning, like I spent 2 hours DMing people because we're doing a event tomorrow night and I want to make sure people show up.
And you have to. And I really want also like maybe like what I'm gonna start really putting is like the conversion rate. So out of those 200 people, and this is what my husband tells me, hey, Susie, these are very good numbers. Even 10% show up. If you have two people that show up, or 20, 200, like that is a really good conversion rate. So
Hmm.
anybody, like for example, that influencer comes in, if I get one or two appointments, that's actually really good.
Yeah.
Like that's a good conversion rate because some people don't even get that.
Yeah, and I mean, there's ways to increase that. Like, I'll give everybody an ad strategy. If that's okay with you, I'm going to give
Of
them a
course.
quick, just because it bring like I wasn't planning on giving this out, but I think it's good to put in here. So one way you can increase conversion rate is with a certain type of ad, because a lot of people think ads are just about like, oh, they saw my ad, now they need to book with me. Well, most people are not actively looking to buy. Only about 3% of the market's actively looking to buy your service at once. So what about the other 97% of people? Well, you can have what I call pillar content in there, which is some kind of content, whether it's a video that's been popular on your Instagram or a post, something that you would want potential clients to see. It's not, hey, go book with me. Maybe it's like talking about your service, some kind of educational piece of content, or some kind of testimonial where people show the experience of working with you. But either way, have that running as an ad to everyone who goes to your website, everyone who goes to your Facebook or Instagram. And that's called retargeting. And that way, like, let's say somebody's doing their research, they Google you, they go to your website, or they click on your Instagram. Well, now they start seeing that piece of pillar content everywhere. And that's a super big strategy.
I actually have a question on that. How do you do that? How do you retarget? And I'm like so serious. 'Cause I don't know who I clicked on. And I was like, dang, how is this coming up everywhere now? I was like, how do I do that?
Number one is to have a Facebook pixel on your website if you have a website. That's without being able to share my screen and stuff like that. If you just go to YouTube, how to install a Facebook Pixel 2024, there's lots of good tutorials for that. It's not that hard. And then
I'm
what?
like, babe, take that down.
Yeah, so once you have a Facebook pixel on your website, it actually tracks your website visitors and allows you to create targeting off that on Facebook and Instagram. So that way, if you've ever gone and looked at a pair of shoes online and all of a sudden you see those shoes everywhere on Facebook or everywhere on Instagram, it's the same thing. The second way is Facebook and Instagram are always tracking people who are engaged with their stuff, who visit your profile, who click on your stuff. And so they know who's been engaging with your stuff. And so you can automatically, or not automatically, but you can create an audience based on that engagement that you've had over the past year. And so
That's cool.
you do that, in Ads Manager.
I also found that people want a lot of relatable content. So not just like facials, but it's like look, I'm going hiking. They're like, I like hiking too. So people want to see like what you like. And I think that it's interesting because people are like the market is so saturated. The same person that likes me is the person who likes me might not like you, or the person who likes you might not like me.
Right.
I think that there's something so special about individuality and that's going to connect with you. So like I know my mom, the people who want me is like the hardworking mom who like doesn't want to talk, wants to go to sleep, has 1 hour to do this. So my entire spot is catered to her. The smell, the warm when she walks in, like in the bathroom, I have hair ties because she has to run back to the PTA or back to work. I have coffees and sodas and waters because like she just fell asleep. So she has to like she's like, oh, I don't want to go back to work. So I literally have all these little coffees for her to just like
Nice.
run back to get the energy. But there's another one, this other girl, she's like a waxer and she's like, hey witches. She's so cute. But like she's quick, funny, quirky. Like you go to her and you're excited to have a conversation with her.
Hmm.
So and I also say like I only need 5 people 4 days a week. Like I can't take more than that. So I do think there's something really special about being your authentic self because you're gonna get gravitated to.
Yeah, and when you're authentic self, like not everybody's going to book with you, and that's fine. But if you like, let's say you're running ads and you're reaching thousands of people a day, well, those people are gonna the people that need to resonate with you, if they see your stuff, they're going to resonate. Now, let's say if you're not getting yourself out there, even if you have great content, nobody's going to see you. And I think that's the biggest change in 2024 that I saw is all these people who were getting bookings, previously because they had cool content or they had great content are now dead, not getting, or like their business is dead because they're not getting bookings because nobody's seeing them. They're like a Louis Vuitton store in the desert.
Oh, Gary Vee was like, this one person was like, I want to change the world. And he's like, all right, let me see your Instagram. He's like, you want to change the world by posting 1 time a week? What? And I was just like, that's like, you just, again, you just have to get out of your way. And there's just another thing I was scrolling on TikTok. And they're like, this one girl's like, you're too shy to show up. They're like, meanwhile, in China, and they have like 100 phones in front of them. And I'm like, you just have to really get out there, be yourself. And I think when you're authentic, it's fun. Like, I think I'm the funniest person ever. So I post really funny content on mine. And I'm just like, I think this is amusing. And, you're really only posting for that 1%, but it is quality leads who want to be there with you, see you. Like, I have one girl who I got ready for her wedding for the past like 6 months. She got married on yesterday. And so I texted her this morning. I was like, "Good morning, bride." But like I was so excited because you build this really authentic connection with your clients, and that's why I really love our industry.
Yeah, that actually reminds me of a quote I heard from Myron Golden a couple of weeks ago. He said, um, how can you expect to live an outstanding life if you're scared to stand out?
Yeah. So when we talk, like when you're saying that, and I'm probably jumping up ahead, but even, and this took time, okay, you guys, took time. But now even my Black Friday offer goes back to the clients that I'm trying to target. Like the offer was specifically designed for them,
Hmm.
which before I was just copying what everybody else was doing. Like, so I love Daniela Warner. I don't know if you know her. So she has Spa Marketing Made Easy podcast. And at the beginning, I built my business off of everything she told me because I'm an executor. So if I listen to a podcast, everybody's like, what are the questions when you had asked, where do you get all this energy from?
Hmm.
I get obsessed. So I hear something and
Same.
I go and I'm like ready to execute. So if somebody tells me, print this out, this is going to make you a millionaire. And I'm like, it obviously my goal is 10,000. I'm very like driven on goals. So 10,000, okay, I need 25 clients. How am I going to get those clients? $25, make 25 times. Okay, I'm closer to 10,000. So like I'm like numbers, right? So it was this buy 100, get 100 that I always tried every year. I never sold any. I probably never, not even one. And this year, I would just really sat with it and I was like, what do I want for my clients? I want them to get skincare. I need them to try it, fall in love with it, see a change. And you also know that they aren't gonna I need them to come back repeatedly and they're not gonna get it with just one visit. And I also want them to fall in love with me and my spa. So that's where I came up with my idea of you buy 3 treatments for 150 and then you get a gift with purchase. And I think that people were like, well, I'm already getting one. I might as well come back for two.
Yeah.
And it's like a rule of thumb. They're not actually your client until they've been with you for 3 times. So I was like, all right, now I just have to really wow them for these next 3 times. So I'm bringing in the paraffin wax, the massage, the warmers, everything. So the next 2 times they come, they're gonna see a difference because they have their at-home skincare products. So they're gonna already see visibly a difference. And then you're gonna get these treatments, and they're gonna be like, by the third time they come, they need to re-up on everything. Ta-da!
I love that. And so one thing that frustrates me in this industry is so many estheticians are just like, well, I don't want to do any kind of offer for like, let's say Black Friday, because it's going to lower my profit margins. And I'm thinking like, okay, yes, you might have a little bit lower profit margins, but the point is not to make as much money as you can on one person. The point is to get them in the door, build a relationship with them, and make them a lifetime customer.
100%. We're in the business of relationships. Like, yes, it is transactional. Yes, they do give me money, but at the same time, like, I put so much love behind that as like a gesture of thank you. And I
Hmm.
really believe too in like energies, right? So like when somebody gives me money, I'm like, I want this to be the best money you've ever spent.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to regret this. Thank you so much. Like that just paid for my daughter's ballet class, and I am so, and there's gratitude that comes behind that. So if I have time, like I will upgrade or I get samples. Now I'm creating welcome bags. I think people are a lot more savvy and they want more special touches
Hmm.
than just being like, now what? So I think people's expectations are a little bit higher. And if you are really authentic and you meet that, then they're gonna come back.
Yep, for
I for
sure.
sure was slacking 6 months ago. 100%. And I feel it in my business for sure.
And that's the thing. Like, and me and you were talking about this on the phone yesterday. A lot of people want to front and say like, "Oh, I always have great energy. I never mess up," and they want to act perfect because they don't want people to judge them. But we need more realism. And just how you said you were slacking 6 months ago, I've gone through phases the past couple of years because I was getting out of the military and stuff where I was distracted and I was sometimes unmotivated and it showed in the business. But now that I'm back in, it's doing better. But it's crazy how that works.
I think the reason why the group has been successful is because I show when I suck just as much as my wins. So in like Monday I posted, damn, I just got so many cancellations. And I show the screenshots and everybody's like, me too, me too. So like we're all empathetic and we all come up with the plan together on how to like execute this. And then I show like, okay, I've messaged every single person who just canceled in the past 2 months. And this is what I did. And I'll show my scripts and my shots that I give them.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, I just sold 3 packages. Woohoo! This is how I did it. But I'm so like raw. Another time I posted, I don't know how to do jelly masks. Jelly masks, love them, but I am so bad at them. But I keep practicing and I posted a picture and they're like, this is so bad. I was like, this is so bad.
That's awesome. Now, going back to, you said with your personality and your energy, you get obsessed. And I
Yes.
find that's a very rare trait that the top entrepreneurs have. Like I have that too. And I was actually looking into it because I just joined a mastermind called Driven. And he said, the guy that was talking to me, one of the best marketers in the world, Perry Belcher, but he was talking to me about like, our brains are made different. There's a part of the brain in the back, I forget what it's called, but it's what controls dopamine release. And for us, we get less dopamine from things and less often. So for us, we're always just trying to like work harder, and we become obsessed to get that dopamine hit. So it's hard. Like we're never satisfied. Basically, do you feel the same way?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. Like I just feel like when I sold the 3, I was like, cool. Okay, let's keep going. Like I
Exactly.
need to sell 20.
Exactly.
And it's funny. I did this chat GBT thing and it said, you've known me for a while, be critical. Like, what do you think about me? Be critical. And one of the things it says you don't know how to do you don't celebrate your wins. But I'm like, but we have so much work to do because this isn't the win.
Yeah.
The win is, I don't even like, so there's this place called The Now. Eventually, I would like to have business models where I just have like, I'm working 7 days a week. I have one esthetician in the morning, one esthetician at night, and we're like going.
Hmm.
So that's where I would like to get, but I have so much to learn because I don't even know half of that stuff, which as I'm learning, I will share it. But I don't know. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, it sounds like you're the same, but I guess here's my next question. Like sometimes, like I'll get all these ideas in my head. I'm like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, but then I like stress myself out because I'm not doing it quick enough. Do you ever feel that way, like overwhelmed?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so I'm not the only crazy
100%.
one.
Yeah, I'm like, luckily, Marcos, he's so good at being like and it's funny because he never tells me my dreams are crazy. He never tells me I'm crazy. He never says they're too big. He's just like, you need a day off. But I'm like obsessive. It's like 7 days a week. I'm like, and he's like, he calls it like I'm hunting. He's like, it looks like you're hunting for something. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, what can I do? How can I make it better? But I do need to chill a little. But it's just so fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like even though we do get stressed out, even though running a business can be tough, like at the end of the day, it's like we're having fun, we're doing what we love. I always tell people like we have these things right here, smartphones. If you're listening to the podcast, we have smartphones, which are basically supercomputers, and we can literally grow a business 24/7 if we wanted to. We really have no excuse anymore.
Bro, like that's how I did the group. I don't even think I could have afforded. I think my laptop was broken. I couldn't even afford one, so I grew the whole group on my phone. Like,
Yep.
and keep in mind that my family told me I was insane for doing the group. Everybody's like, just stick to your business. Like,
Mhm.
why are you doing more? Because it was stressful growing it. Because I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know how to approve. I knew what I wanted. I wanted to have very specific content. I was like, let's get information, ladies. We're here to make money. We're not here to talk about feelings. Like at the time, it was during COVID, because I felt like there was like a stigma of making money is bad. So I was
Yeah.
like, making money is bad, but you want to make 10,000? Like it just doesn't make sense. And making money isn't bad because then we give back and give to the community. It's not being, greedy.
I love that you brought that up because like I hope this doesn't offend anyone because I've been broke, like literally had $0, and I've been wealthy. So and I can tell you when you have more money, you have more time and opportunity to help people. Now that's not saying everybody with money does help people, but you have more time. Think about it. When you're broke, all you can think about yourself. Like how can I pay my bills? How can I get by? How can I do this for myself? You don't have time or energy to think about other people because you have to focus on yourself. And so getting money actually allows you to help more people.
For sure. I think I learned it from my dad. So my dad was a dentist. My mom helped him have offices. They had like, oh my gosh, 4 offices. My dad would commute every other weekend because he's from LA to Fresno. So that's a 3 or 4 hour commute. And he would work at one office on Monday, I have a video, to another office on Tuesday, or he would work one office in the morning, one office in the evening, one morning, one evening. And he would work legit 6 hour days at each office. And he said that when he was first making like a split shift, he was first making money. There was this doctor called Dr. Quesada. And he goes, how much money are you making? I don't know. My dad was probably averaging like 60,000 a month or something like that, you know? He's
Mhm.
like, you could double that. And my dad's like, really? How? He's like, well, you start at 8 and you finish at 2, and then you have a really big lunch break, and then you start from 6 whatever. So like another double shift at night. So my dad started doing that and he saw all the money increase. So then he started doing that at every single office. And I was like, but I just saw the hustle, determination. If he's not working, we're marketing, we're passing out flyers. I started passing out flyers at like 10 years old. And so it was like you just knew you had to get out there. That's why I take my daughter to work with me. I'm
Yeah.
like, come on, kid, we're doing hot towels. Let's put this together just to show her the like what hard work is.
Yep. I love that. That's the best thing you can do for your kids, in my opinion.
You have to show them, yeah. And I remember one of my again goals. I was like, everybody at this event is gonna have a flyer. And I would just walk around and make sure that to the point where people would be like, leave me alone. You gave me 2 of these already.
Yep, for sure. So I did when I found out I was going to be interviewing here on the podcast, I actually asked your Facebook group. I was like, "Hey, what questions you want me to ask Maria?" So I got some written down right here. We've answered a couple, but let's see. So what would you tell your younger self back when you first started if you could go back in time?
I saw that and I was like, okay, so and I broke it down in two because I was like, what is younger? So I'm currently 37. And younger self, like little Maria passing out the flyers, like I knew I didn't want to be a dentist and everybody was pushing me into dental. And I was like, that's just not what I want to do. I knew I wanted to be in beauty because I loved the beauty industry just
Mhm.
as a whole. But like, what was I going to do? So I would probably tell myself, you found your thing, because I had no idea. I was like, what am I going to do? Like, also because my dad was a dentist, he had me old. He was 50. So, I mean, he had good money. I was like, how am I going to uphold this lifestyle? Like, what am I going to do? Because there is a certain like lifestyle that I wanted to uphold, like get my nails done. That's expensive. And so I'd be like, you found your thing. So, like, you have nothing to worry about. Because I remember staying up at night thinking, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? Like, God, life is really expensive, because,
Yeah.
and then myself starting beauty school, like after beauty school, when I got pregnant with my daughter, I was a single mom. So I was like, oh my God, how am I going to afford life? And I would tell myself, like, you don't have so much to worry about. Like, if you
Mm.
have that hustle and that drive, like, and I'm very spiritual, so I do believe in God. So one of the things I would be like, God always provides. Like the things that he has done where I'm like down to my last, and then all of a sudden Square would be like, this is Square Capital. Here's $3,500. I'm like, I could pay my rent.
Yeah. Yeah, and along those same lines, like I think there's a big difference because I mean I'm a person of faith as well, and I think that one mistake with that I see with people is they're just like, oh, I'm going to sit back and wait for a blessing. I'm just going to wait. I'm not going to do anything, and then they start watching Netflix or get distracted. And it's like, I think God will bless whoever works hard, but you have to put in the work. It's like, the Bible says faith without works is dead. Like it's one thing to have, manifesting beliefs or whatever, but you got to put action behind it.
There was this one thing where this man, there was like a flood. It was like a picture, or I don't remember where I saw it. It was a picture and there was a flood. And the guy is like sitting on the boat on the thing and he's like, God, please save me, save me. So he sends him a boat, he sends him this person, he sends him this person. And the guy's like, nope, I'm waiting for God. And they're like, what? So he ends up dying and he meets God and God's like, why didn't you get on the boat? And he's like, I was waiting for you. He's like, I sent you boats.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? So it was for sure like I do believe in manifestation for sure, but at the same time, like when opportunity arises, like you got to pass out those business cards. You got to go. Like it is a hustle, it is a grind. Like, but it's fruitful. So I do a lot of like devotionals, and there's one like the time of the harvest is one of my
Hmm.
favorites because even like the harvest is like you need to plant, do the weeding and tend to your garden, and then you harvest. And
Hmm.
I feel like a lot of people think that like and the heart like the group, oh my God, what I started in 2020. I didn't actually harvest anything for 2-3 years. So I wasn't ready for instant gratification. And I also just knew that my purpose was so much bigger than me.
I will add to that and say, like, whoever's watching or listening, and if you're struggling to grow your business right now, if you're struggling to even sustain, plant those seeds, learn everything you can on podcasts like this. Send me an email. I'll send you one of my books, The No Fluff Guide to Growing Your Beauty Business. There's so many free resources out there. Just keep investing into yourself, investing into, planting those seeds, because right now, like, we are in a winter season overall with the economy. Like, yes, there's still tons of opportunity, but we're in that winter season. So, prepare everything, like do the best you can, become the best business owner you can. And once that spring season hits, you're going to be ready for massive growth.
Oh, you're gonna harvest. Once we get over this quote unquote November hump
Yeah.
and everything that's happening, I feel like it is going to thrive. There was another one where I think it was Entourage. So the last recession we had, the Entourage like place in Vegas, they started doing like day parties and everybody was like pulling back all these like hotels or whatever, and they invested more into their business, and everybody was like, what are you doing? Like I think they did this massive build out, and everybody's like, what are you doing? They're like, no, people are going to come, and when they come, we're going to have loyal clientele because we're known for this. So adding value instead of taking it away. So for example, there is a lot of free resources. And I tell everybody in the group, like, get involved, ask questions, trade. Like
Hmm.
if it was me, I would go to a massage therapist or something and be like, hey, let me clean your bathroom or do XYZ. If you teach me how to, I'll run your social media. Whatever you're good at, do a trade. That doesn't cost money. Anyways, the Entourage ended up putting so much value that they had like the best hotel. So during this downtime, not just being like, oh, we're done. No, like continue to grow your skills, learn what an impaired barrier is, learn massage. Like there's so many things you can be doing in this downtime.
Yeah, and that's it. Like for me, like I mean, I know I'm compared to other people, I might not have been in business that long. I've only been in business about 7 or 8 years, and but I've had enough to see two different economies. One where the government was printing money, there was tons of opportunity, everything was on the up and up. And during that time, it was kind of annoying because everybody was a business expert, everybody was a coach, everybody was like, "Hey, look how I make six figures," because it was easy. But now that it's harder, you've seen a lot of those people kind of fizzle away and go away.
That part though, like yeah, it was easy to make six figures. When I first got into the industry, the thing was no longer taking new clients because I started before COVID. And I remember that was my goal to be like no longer taking new clients. I don't think I've seen that in a really long time.
Yeah.
But and everybody's Instagram profile would say no longer taking new clients. Now we're like, bring on the clients.
Yep, exactly. So people got a little arrogant, during that time, but I think the last few years have definitely humbled a lot of people and shown who's serious about business and who's not.
And this right now is going to show who's going to come out in the end for sure.
Right. Let's go. Oh, speaking of, trends now that we're talking about, where do you see the beauty industry heading like in 2025? Like what do you think the next skincare trends are going to be?
In terms of skincare or business.
Either one.
I think skincare people are really wanting special touches, memorable touches. So like I started doing welcome kits. Like instead of just giving somebody my business card and being like, refer me, I am now adding it in like a kit. So I went to Amazon, I got these cute kits. I got really good samples so that everybody can try whatever I'm gonna recommend. I put a referral card in there, I put my business card in there. So it's like more intentional versus just like slapping them with the business card.
Right, for sure. I love that. Because, like, we've all seen AI and technology and stuff. So I think the more we get human connection and human touch, the way if you can do both, if you can utilize AI for systems to save time, but then use that extra time to build human connections, those are the people that are really going to win.
Oh, for sure. And then I think business people are a lot more savvy. Like I think people are really looking to build connection and like I hope a trend is like trading time like time. I think that like if I was a younger esthetician, I would reach out and be of service to an older esthetician and like make myself so indispensable that she like can't live without me.
So here's another question. What is something you've tried before that you thought would absolutely work? You were very sure about it, and then it just didn't work out. Can you think of anything like that?
Absolutely everything. What? Like everything. So I tried lash extensions. That was absolutely horrid. Whoever can do lashes, my tip my hat to you because that is hard. When it comes to business, I've probably tried every single offer. So like in the summer, again, because I've been slow, I was like, buy three, get one, buy three, get one. Nobody cared. Everybody was like, I'm here anyways. I'm good. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
When I actually got intentional and sat back and thought, what do my clients want? That's when I came up with my Black Friday offer, which is buy three facials, get a gift with purchase. That was more valuable. And I also think it was coming from a place of fear, the first one, versus from confidence when I did this one. So I was
Yeah.
just like, oh my God, because I went to a bigger space. Like even last year, I was so busy. It was crazy. I was like, I was so stressed. I was just had so much. And this year, it was just been so slow, and which is also stressful. It's
Right.
stressful when you have clients. It's stressful when you don't.
It's always stressful.
So I've tried everything, and again, but that comes with years of business and learning what works and what doesn't.
So, what are some self-limiting beliefs that you had to get over to grow?
It's funny because when I had like saw that, I was like, I think I'm like toxic optimistic, where I'm like, I could do it all, and I quickly learn I can't. Um, and like more systems in place. So I don't. I was like, okay, what do I not believe? I think one thing was actually showing up. Like, so I don't know if I have limited beliefs, if I'm honest. But one thing that I did say is like actually showing up like a six-figure business. So
Mm.
just because like 1 month I'll be so on top of it, and I'm like, yeah, bringing in money, and then I just get lazy, and it's like, am I actually showing up like a six-figure business? Like I had mentioned 6 months ago, if somebody canceled, I wouldn't even reach back out to them. Like, how sloppy is that? That's so sloppy to me. And now I'm like, oh shit, like, sorry. Like, I really have to stay on top of it. So it was like more showing up like a six-figure business, like getting to my work early, looking at my calendar, seeing who's on there, what kind of products can I recommend, where can I upgrade, how can I make this more special? Even though I thought I was doing it, like, but I was kind of half doing it.
Okay. So, well, I know that you mentioned you don't have a VA or maybe you just hired one, but you don't really have much of a team yet. So maybe do you have the belief that nobody can do it as good as you?
Probably. I just brought somebody on. Her name is Blanca. I do really really like her, and I just got my VA, but I do need to find another person. Also, I haven't been as busy, so it's like I don't want to just bring somebody on to sit.
And that's the hard part is like, okay, I'm not that busy yet, but I know that when things pick up, I'm going to need more help. So should I train people now? Like, how can I do that? So managing a team can definitely, have its challenges. Now, here's one of my favorite questions. It's a little wide open, but tips for business growth.
Make sure your Instagram is on point. And what does that mean? Make sure you have, like, if I go to your Instagram, I should be able to look at that and get all my answers, the questions, whatever, answered.
Yeah.
So like I shouldn't have be like, where are they located? No, it's your address should be on there. Your book, you should have a booking link. I should know what you do. So like I specialize in acne and dermaplaning. I'm an expert, whatever that your expertise is. I do lashes. I want to know where you're at, what you do, how to contact you. So make sure you have all your contact butts. Then I personally believe you need a website. Other people say you don't. So on your website, make sure your links work. Oh my god, nothing irritates me more. I try to go to this boxing class. It's around the corner. Let me tell you, the facility is gorgeous. It's like a Mayweather or something. He's like an ex-boxer. The facility is gorgeous. I always see it. But I, for some reason, I went to go get the address because my friend was coming to meet me. I was like, here's her Instagram. Like I said, we were gonna meet at the class together. We called, we texted, we emailed, didn't get in touch with anybody. So I was like, well, I see the class starts at 6:30. Let's just show up. So she's like, all right, I'll meet you there at 6:30. I send her the website. She clicks on the website. It takes her to a wrong location. And no one's calling. No one, they just went out of business, by the way. No one's
Gotcha.
calling. Nobody's emailing them. So make sure, like, common sense things. I should be able to know how to get to your place.
Yep.
One, what I learned was really good is before the client gets there. So today, if it's a brand new client, I'm going to send a special text to be like, hi, this is Maria. So excited to see you at 6:30 today, and give them parking instructions. They shouldn't have to call or message. If you
Yeah.
need me, I'm here. Like that's important. Making sure that like it's frustrating to get there and be like, I don't know where to park. I don't know what to do. Like there's so many questions. I want to get in. I want to get out. So like making sure that you're thinking of the person before they get there.
Yeah, that I mean that does two things. It increases the customer experience, so they have less stress, less uncertainty, and it make like they'll probably be a repeat customer because it's a better experience. And then for you as a business owner, it saves you time because now they're not like trying to call you and ask you how do I get there, and it's less questions you have to answer because you've already pre-answered.
So check your stuff. Like just check your it's so easy. I mean, I for sure was like I never checked it and I was like, "Oh my god, my booking thingy isn't working." So periodically making sure that everything is working.
Last thing I want to cover that's like the grand finale because this is what I'm most excited about. The Black Friday offer. I've seen you post about it in your Facebook group. You've already been getting some bookings for it, and at the time of this recording, we're almost a month out from Black Friday. So, what is your offer? You've already mentioned a little bit, but let's really break it down now.
So my facials cost $180 for 1 hour treatment. And everybody's like, 180, that's expensive. But I don't upsell. So whatever is included is in there. So if it's red light, dermaplaning, microderm, everything is included in this.
Hmm.
So whatever you need at the time is what we're gonna do. So I discounted it down to 150. So you buy three 150 facials, and then you get an $80 worth of retail. So it comes like in a bundle package.
Okay, so basically, it's kind of a combination of discounting it because they're buying three in bulk, and then you're doing a gift with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I
And it's
love
really beautifully packaged.
Awesome. I love the gift thing because in marketing we call that a premium. So it's basically some kind of, just like you said, a gift with your core offer. Because what people don't realize is like bonuses a lot of times like a bonus gift or things you're adding in, and this may be one way you want to tweak your offer is like you mentioned that you have all this stuff included in your core price. Well, I would argue that you're not marketing that well because you want to, I mean, maybe you are. I'm just based off what you just told me for 30 seconds. But if I were you, I'd be listing out all those things like, whatever you said, the red light facial, the this, and then putting a value next to it. And so that way you can say, like, oh, this is actually, my facials are normal. Like, the value is $350, but right now it's only 150.
And I did that because I hate when people like when you go somewhere and you're like upcharge, upcharge, upcharge. I'm like I just want to be able to do what you need,
Yeah.
like you know whatever that may be versus asking.
Yeah, and one way you could sell that is you could say, you could go down to the road to any other spa and they're going to charge you for this and charge you for that. And it's going to cost you about $350. But mine, I include all that in there for you and it's only 180.
Yeah, which a typical facial I checked in my area. This one person calls me and they're like, "Well, my other esthetician used to do it for $100. Can you do that?" I'm like, "No."
So that's your, like, let's say that's your offer. How are you deploying that offer? Are you just posting on social media? Do you have an email list?
Oh
How are you
no.
deploying it?
Again, Marcos is a sales genius. He said, "Sales is a contact sport." We'll say it one more time for the people in the back. Sales is a contact sport. Any person who has an appointment with me, I am saying, "I'm so excited to see you. Just to let you know, I have this, this, this. This is my offer. Here's the link. See you at 2." So like they already know that it's coming. Anybody who's ever canceled, I'm gonna message them. Actually, I have time set apart for that today. I'm gonna message every person who's came in the last who hasn't been or has been to me in the last 6 months. Newsletters. Now I have my gorgeous VA, thanks to Tony. She's going to text every single person as well, and then I'm gonna blast it all over social media, and then you're gonna run ads for me, hopefully.
Oh yeah. So, just curious, are you texting these people one by one, or do you have a system where
Mhm.
you can do a text blast?
I found they really like it when I text them one by one,
Are you
so I do
texting
both.
different things, or why do they like it better?
They just know it's me. They're like, "Hey, Maria, yeah, girl, I want it."
I guess my question is because, like, what if you could do a text blast but make it sound the exact same, where they still think it's you, but then you could reply to them once they reply?
So text blast, I do a text blast using my Square. So everybody who's in my database, I do text them.
Yeah, I guess I'm just curious, like, how do they differentiate whether it's you or not? Because anytime I do a text blast, I write the text blast, and so they still feel like it's me because it technically
Mm,
is.
I think because they see my phone number come up,
Oh, so it's a
like it's
phone
my
number. Okay,
personal cell phone number. Yeah.
gotcha.
So I try all three.
Um,
Maybe I work harder, not smarter.
that I mean that works up to a certain point, and then as you know, you only have so much time in the day, and so that's when you really got to put in more systems. But
I say you could do everything with 45-minute increments, which everybody laughs at me. So I will put a timer and I will text as many people as I can for 45 minutes. I will check DMs for 45 minutes. So like the other time I was like, "Do you guys want me to personally message everybody to the event?" And you're like, "What?" I have 45 minutes and I work fast. I'm very efficient.
awesome. So okay, so you're doing text marketing, and then we're gonna start some ads for you to get that out. And then you
I'm
have
so
an
pumped
email
for that.
list. What'd you say?
I'm so pumped for ads. I've been working on my back end, like, because I'm pumped for these ads.
Well, the problem with not having ads, and I did this the same thing for a while, is like you at some point you're just hitting the same people over and over again. You're hitting the same customers, the same potential customers in your database, and so ads allow you to like get out in front of more people that you would never otherwise get in front of.
I have a question for you. Okay, so what would you say if somebody's like, I want to run ads? What do they need to do to prepare?
I mean, like you said, just make sure their information is correct on like Instagram and Facebook, or if they have a website, and make sure they have some content up because ads are great for attention. But if I click on your ad and then I go to your Instagram and you don't have any post, or your last post was 3 months ago, I'm gonna be like, is this business even active anymore?
Or is this a scam? Yeah.
Right. And so make sure you're posted. You don't have to post every day, but at least make a couple, 2 or 3 posts a week at a minimum. I mean, besides that, I mean, you don't need that much for ads. Like even for people that are brand new about to open doors, like go ahead and start running ads.
Yeah. I also think I want to add a little note. There's magic in your stories. So like another thing that I'll do is I will talk about my whatever offer, or I'll show up on stories really, really often. And anybody who looks at my stories, I go into their DMs. So even if they're not followers, I'm like sliding in that DM.
Interesting. Yeah, I do like that. That takes it a step further. So I'm gonna write that one down.
Well, because they already know you, they're seeing you, they're engaging you, they're learning. And I'm like, "Hey, nice to meet you." And they're like, "Where'd you come from?"
Yep. And I can already hear it in my head because anytime I teach DMs, everyone's, or not everyone, but a lot of people are like, well, I'm scared that I'm bothering someone. So what would you
Yeah.
say to them?
Are you scared to not pay your rent? Which one are you more scared of?
Yep, exactly.
I'm more scared to not pay my rent.
Love that.
And you're actually doing of service, to be honest, because one, this is maybe tooting my own horn, but I really believe in what I offer, and I really put my heart into it 100%. So I don't think I'm bothering you because I'm about to give you the best facial of your life. So come on.
And that's the mindset I wish I could just put in all my clients' heads.
It takes time. I mean, there are times where I'm like, oh my God, I totally sucked. Why am I not busy? But you just have to be like, I feel like you just have to have that crazy mindset because it's hard. Business is hard. There's
Yep.
so much rejection that comes with it because you're putting your heart and soul. For somebody to be like, you suck, you're like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, and I think that's the main reason what you just said. That's the main reason most people stop running ads after a couple weeks, or like some people do, because they're used to, like you mentioned earlier, they're used to referrals or people already knowing them. That's what they're used to. And so when you start running ads and it's like people who are like F off and I don't know you, which, there's going to be a certain small percentage of people that are like that. It's like shocking at first. It's like, wow, I'm not used to this. But once you get past rejection and realize this is how I reach thousands of new customers, then it becomes so much easier.
So always wanted to have my own business. I didn't know what it was going to be, but I wanted a business. I tried yoga. I tried a food truck, a tutu business, like everything I wanted, right? And when my dad had his offices, he would let me do the advertising for him in one specific office. And I would watch my mom, and my mom would go down to swap meets and pass out flyers. So the first day my dad made me office manager, which I don't even think that was an actual title. I think he just loved me. I was like, I'm going to go to the swap meet, and there's something called beginner's luck. I watched a whole YouTube video on it because you're so like, you've had no rejection. So it's
Yeah.
like the first time you fall in love. You're like, we love each other. Like there's nothing, nothing hurting you, right? There's nothing, whatever. So I was like, I went with my grandma. My God, my grandma was like 60 years old, and she's like, she used to be an entrepreneur too. So she's like, come on, mija. And I'm like, let's go. And so I grabbed this like table, I didn't even have like not even a nice table. It was a table. I went and I told everybody free x-rays and exam, right? To the dentist.
Mhm.
And this is my first like week as business manager. It was on a Wednesday, and I'm passing out flyers, and I was like, hey, give me your phone number on a random thing. First name, last name, phone number. I'm going to see you at 1. I'm going to see you at 2. I'm going to see you at 3. And the doctors, and keep in mind that the previous business manager has been trying to revive this office for 2 years. I walk in, and the entire waiting room is busy. Like, there is, like, no joke, 25 patients. At the time, I had no idea what I actually did, because 25 dental patients is really hard to get in a
Yeah.
day, like new clients.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna see you at 3, I'm gonna see you at 4, I'm gonna see you at 5. Da-da-da. And I remember everybody walked in because we opened at 2. So I got there at 6 something. When we ran back to the office, me and my grandma are sitting there passing out flyers. So funny. And the doctors and everybody walk in, they're like, where are all these people? And I'm like, all right, you guys, time to take x-rays, because I think I'm the boss. And so I'm like sitting there taking x-rays on everybody, and I'm like, okay, doctor, room 1, room 3, room 4. And I had no idea what I had actually done till I got way older, have went through a lot of rejection. It's hard to go face to face to someone and pass out a flyer and say,
Yeah.
I'm going to see you at 2 o'clock, and not have them show up.
All right.
But you just have to be blindly optimistic and just go for it.
That's awesome. So, I know we've talked about a lot of topics and everything like that. So, for those listening or watching, if you have more questions for Maria or myself, I'm going to include our social links below. And then also make sure to go join her group, the Money Making Esthetician. So it's the Money Making Esthetician on Facebook. And we'll also put a link for that below in the YouTube description. Or if you're listening to this on the podcast, just search Money Making Esthetician on Facebook.
Thank you so much for having me.
And for anyone who's listening from your group or your list, I would love to offer them a free book as well, the No Fluff Guide to Growing Your Beauty Business. We have here's the thing, guys. I know that time is limited, and so when I wrote this book, I wanted it to be like you could pick it up. It's easy action. Like I can just read it for 5 minutes and be like, okay, action item. Let's go implement that action. Or we have lots of content ideas in the back. There's so many things you can quickly learn on that. And so I had the business owner, especially, estheticians in mind when I wrote that. And so anyone who wants a copy of that book, I'll put that in the link below too. And that way you guys can, have success in the holidays and especially 2025.
I am excited. I cannot wait for the new year.
Yeah. It's always like the New Year's always like my favorite because everyone's like inspired to like start growing and stuff. And, everybody's ready to like hit the ground running again. So I love doing like masterminds and boot camps like in January and February. So we'll probably come up with something like that.
What I've heard too is this is the season to get you busy for January and February.
Yeah.
And one of my hopes in the group was like, there's a quote like, if you stay ready, you never have to get ready.
Exactly.
So making sure that like your offer should be ready 90 days in advance. So really making the savvy business owner. And then now I'm already thinking about January. I was like, I'm going to do a peel party in January and February where they're going to be cute, where it's like, get rid of your ex and the dead skin too, like something funny. So like really just catering to your audience. It's going to be fun. Like people want fun, the whole thing,
Yeah. So that actually rings a bell with me. What are your thoughts on gift cards for the holidays? I don't think enough people sell gift cards or even utilize them as as a gift. Like, imagine if like with your offer, you also include a $25 gift card that they could give to a friend for one of your services.
Oh my God, genius.
So
I'm
there
going
you
to do
go.
that
Add
now.
that to your offer.
Yeah, I'm like, here, refer your friend. That is, make him really cute. That's great. I should put it in the welcome kits too.
Yeah, for sure. and that way you're basically
That's
just
smart.
they're able to give a gift to their friend and like be a cool friend. And
Yeah.
here's the thing with that, they're not just going to give the gift card to a friend and be like, oh yeah, this is just some esthetician. They're going to talk you up because they want to be like a good friend, so they're going to be like, yeah, this is the esthetician I go to, she's awesome, you got to try her out. And so now you're getting a really good testimonial and referral, and now it's creating more clients for you.
What should you put on that card, or what should I put on that card?
I would definitely put an expiration date, so that like probably 30-day expiration date. That way people take action fast. I would definitely put, how they can claim it. So put your, maybe your Instagram name on there, or like text this number to schedule an appointment, or
Yeah.
your website link if you have one. So make it very clear of like, and then also have like what they can apply it to. So like, any facial service or any like whatever.
Yeah. That's great. I'm gonna do that now. Yeah, just don't be scared of rejection, guys. It's okay. The greats get rejected. It's fine.
Yep. I mean, it's a numbers game, honestly. Like, yes, there are ways to improve your conversion rates, but at the end of the day, like, our even with our clients who have our scripts, our coaching, all the resources, a lot of times they only convert about 1 in 6 leads. But
But
and
that's
and
good.
yeah, that's good. Like, I was actually at a marketing conference a couple weeks ago, and I was talking to some of the speakers of the conference who run, $10 million plus agencies, and I told them our conversion rate, and they're like, "Whoa, that's actually really good." And they're trying to learn from me. So,
Yeah. It's interesting because Marco said he's like, wow, those are great stats. I'm like, they used to be better, but like
awesome. Well, I know we could go on and on, Maria, but thanks for joining. And it's always fun to be on your group. And guys, definitely check out the Money Making Esthetician. It's an awesome group. And thanks for listening.
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.